What's up? It is me, Seth with SethPerler.com, and I wear a lot of hats in the executive function, 2E, and neurodiversity, ADHD worlds. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about college students in executive function, ADHD, and 2E. And we're going to look at how to evaluate a college program to see if it's fluff or not. So I got this email from a parent, and it says, "Hi, Seth. Not sure if you'll see this, but it's worth a shot. I'm a pediatric OT and mother of two 2E kids. I've been following you for years, and your strategies have been so helpful. Thank you. I'm glad. My kids are getting ready for college, and we are trying to figure out which colleges out on the East Coast truly have 2E support and which are just fluff. I'll be discussing that in this video. Do you have a list you trust or a go-to? No, but I'll give you some good insight. I found several, but they are very vague. And I don't have any way of really to evaluate them. Any help will be so appreciated. Also, thanks for sharing your story. So on my website, I talk about different stories that I have, but I think it's my main story or my 2E article. I realized that I'm also 2E and had a very similar experience in college. Thank you for all you're doing to help our kids. You are welcome. All right, so basically 2E support, which are really good, which is just fluff. How do you evaluate that stuff? So do I have a list or I trust or a go-to? No. This is also what I say when parents are asking me, like, how do I choose which school? You know, we're going to switch schools. It's not working out. Well, all of them look good on paper. All of them look good on the internet. All of them, you know, you got to really think about what are we evaluating when a school or a college looks good. What does that really mean? Are the scores high? You know, are the kids compliant and really not thinking for themselves and learning to think and learning to learn? You know, what are they evaluating? What determines? Because a lot of the metrics we use to evaluate schools as a culture are very misguided, I'd say. So what are we looking for? So no, I do not. They all look good on paper. Now, let's get into the good stuff. How are you going to evaluate it? How's a parent or the student or somebody who's trying to guide these kiddos, how can we evaluate if it's fluff or if they really have good support for 2E kids or kids with executive function challenges? Well, the first thing that I want to do is tell you a story about me and where I was at. So there are two types of college students, those who are ready and those who are not ready. And what I mean by that is those who really are ready to be there, who really are there for themselves because they really want to be there, they really want to learn. And that means that they are ready to accept help, to ask for help, to implement help. Those sorts of things are really necessary. So what happened to me is I almost failed out of high school. I got into Ball State University on what's it called? On probation. I literally started college on probation. I had to go to a summer program, which means I graduated high school while all my friends are going out and having fun during the summer after high school. I was not. Well, I was, but I wasn't. I was not with my friends. I went to Ball State for the summer program to prove that I had what it takes to get in for the fall. So my test scores were always high, but my grades were abysmal when I graduated high school. So I get into Ball State on probation. I had to take 3 classes that summer. And one of those classes was study skills. And like many of the students that I work with now, how do you think I did on the study skills class? I got an A. I got an A and 2 C's that summer. I did fine. When things were really hard or when I was like in a bind, I was able to try to prove to my parents or other people to get it off my back. Like I was able to do just enough, but I wasn't doing what needed to be done. But I was able to do just enough. You know, that's not a way to do things, but that is who I was when I was 18 years old. I did not have the executive function skills to navigate college. I was not ready for college. I was ready to socialize. I was ready to go explore the world. I was ready to do a lot of things. I was not ready for the demands of college. I did not have the systems that I needed in place to be successful in college, meaning the organizational systems, the planner systems, the time management systems. I had no idea what was going to happen with the unstructured time because all of a sudden your classes are at really weird times in college, and I didn't know how to fill my time with studying, or I didn't even know how really to study or to read, actually read college level material and take the time and have the executive function to do it. I didn't have any accountability. I wasn't going to see people for accountability for help with my papers or projects or my professors. I wasn't getting to know my professors. I was going to class, just right as I did go to all my classes, but I didn't get to know the professors. I didn't ask them for help. I didn't go to office hours ever. I didn't get tutors ever. I didn't take advantage of the things. And I had a lot of clutter in my life as well. And so the type of student that I became when I went back to school when I was 25, so years later, I went to Ball State, failed out. I went to Columbus State, which is a community college in Columbus, Ohio, and I went because I could get in, and that's about it. And I dropped out before I failed out, but I was failing out. I was failing everything. I think I failed all my classes in 2 quarters there. So I really was not ready. I just wanted, and the reason I went to that second one is I really just wanted to get away from my parents. I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do, have no accountability, and just, I was a child thinking that I was ready for college, and I was not. So when I finally went back when I was 25, after I had finally found things that mattered to me and I really wanted to learn, I really wanted to be there, things were very different. I got my systems in place early. I got accountability. I asked professors for help. I went and met all the professors. I started study groups in my classes. I was the awkward person who's like, hey, we're doing a study group on Wednesdays. See me after class if you want to join. And it didn't exist, but then 5 or 6 really great students would join. I learned so much from them. I went to the tutors. I asked for help all the time. I went to all the office hour stuff. I decluttered my life. I got rid of junk. I had a great study space. I started reorganizing everything. So I was ready, but I didn't do it on my own. So when you're asking about the fluff, is the program fluff? In a way, I want to tell you it doesn't matter if it's fluff or not, because if they have some sort of program, even if it's the worst 2E program or executive function program in universities in the entire country, if they have some sort of program, it doesn't really matter what the program is like. Why? Why would I say that? Because 2 other things matter more. One is the student ready? Are they willing to ask for help? Are they willing to show up? Are they willing to go to office hours? Are they willing to build an accountability? Are they willing to work with other students and say, hey, how do you do that? I don't know how you're managing all that work. How do you use your calendar? Is your student ready to do those things independently? 2, whoever it is that your child ends up working with, and if you're a student watching this, whoever you end up working with at the university, whoever your coach is, executive function coach, whatever program the school has in place for 2E or for learning disabilities, if you're like, hey, cool, I got learning disabilities, I have these challenges, I struggle with this stuff, I don't really care, I want to do awesome in life and learn a lot in college, like if you're in that kind of place, you're going to be fine. Because 2, it's about the person that the student builds the relationship with. So if the student shows up with the coach or the tutor or the person consistently over and over and builds that relationship with them, and if they don't work out, they're like, hey, I'm paying for this college, I'm going to get another tutor or coach or whatever, tell them I want someone else to help me, and they're willing to go to the writing center and take advantage of the resources, figure out if they're willing to do this stuff, then the relationships that they build with those people are all that matter. Because those people, regardless of the program or the training that those people had, those people are going to get to know the student and are going to build a relationship and be able to help them build the systems and all the strategies that they need in order to be successful. If the student shows up persistently, consistently, asks for help, then the relationship with the people that they are working with is what matters. Those people investing in them, they are life changers. They are don't underestimate the power of those individuals and changing lives. When you find somebody that cares about you and that invests time in you and you're showing up, you're going to get what you need. So that's what I have to say about that. Now, I have a question for you. And if you're a student watching, I have a question for you. Are you, in high school, the type of student who uses accommodations? If you're not, what's going to change in college? If you're not using them now and it feels embarrassing or whatever, or you just don't feel like it, what's going to change? The level of the game in college is so much higher. It demands so much more. And this is what I see. I've worked with a lot of college students. Almost every college student, I said there are two types of college students, those that are ready, those that aren't. Almost every college student that I've worked with is a second year freshman or just barely a sophomore. What I mean by that is the reason they're coming to me is because they thought they were ready. They failed their freshman year or barely passed their freshman year. And they're going back for their sophomore year. And that's usually when they get started with a coach or something. So now, even at that point, I hate to say this, but I've had so many college students who swear up and down, I'm ready for a coach, I'm ready to do this. And I talk to them like, yeah, I'm going to commit, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And I am very honest with my students, and I can tell them if I feel a vibe or I notice inconsistency or they're not showing up or something, I call them on it. But I have had so many that really aren't ready even then, even at their second year freshman or sophomore year. They're just not ready. So they think they are, but it doesn't matter what you think if the action is not there. And that's really hard to gauge, but you can kind of look at the track record and see where they're at. So students, if you're like willing to really, really ask for help all the time, be consistent about this stuff, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna figure it out. And if you know that you've got an ace in the pocket, you're just like holding on to something, and you know that there's a part of you that's so resistant that you just kind of know that you're not really going to show up for yourself. And it's not a bad thing. You're just not ready to do this level of stuff. Be honest with yourself. Save yourself a lot of time and energy and money, and shift course. And you can always keep shifting course throughout life. That's the awesome thing about life. You can do anything with your life, go in any direction you want to. So I have that. Now, last thing that I'm going to say is this. In order to evaluate them, call a bunch of these programs, talk to someone on the phone, write down in a chart the name of the people with the different programs from the different schools. Ask them about their other resources, because it's not just their 2E program. It's their writing center, it's their tutors, it's their TAs, it's the office hours with the professors. It's all these things that really added up matter. So make a chart, get their names, ask about other resources, and make a list of those resources so that the students can use that list when school starts. Now, the last thing that I want to say is this. When you are calling the schools, getting the names of the people in the 2E center or the EF center or whatever the program, whatever they call their program, and you're finding out about other resources and you're making a chart list, and who is doing most of the work? Is the parent doing most of the work, or is the student or the child doing most of the work? If the parent is doing most of it and doing it for them and trying to be super helpful, but the student's not stepping up, if somebody tells you who they are, believe them. They're showing you through their actions that they're really, now they may be swamped and working on other things. That's different. If they're working on finals and blah, 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 and they're really showing effort and they're asking for accommodations in high school, and, they're busy with that, and you're taking over for some of that. That's fine. I think you understand the point I'm trying to say. As I said, there are two types of students, those that are ready, those that aren't. So if the parent's doing most of the work in that sort of way where the student's really not stepping up, that's very telling. And of course, all of this are shades of gray, but really, it's telling. And I can say, mark my words, blah, 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 which I say a lot with college students, because the quicker a human being can be honest with themselves about where they're at, the quicker they're going to be able to get where they really want to go in life, especially with these executive function challenges that can be so debilitating for so many of us. Anyhow, my name's Seth Perler. Wear a lot of hats in the executive function, 2E, ADHD, all these neurodiverse worlds. I'm really grateful you're here. I want to wish you peace of mind and some joy and some connection today. If you like my work, please share it around. Leave a comment. What do you think about what I just said? How would you evaluate whether their programs are good enough or not? Any tips that you'd share with any of us, or what helps you succeed in college? And subscribe. Share it around. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Brain's kind of fried. Had a big day. Hope you're fantastic. Oh, if you're still watching this, you get $1 million. Just kidding. I have a summit called TFOS, the Executive Function Online Summit. It is the beginning of July. It is going to be in August this year. It's an awesome free summit for parents, teachers, therapists. Check it out. I will see you in the next one.